And talking about LA, we need kindness in this world.
Oh my God.
And talking about
Billionaire Richard Branson reportedly spent $5 million to fly tennis star Eala to his birthday party, where her speech left him in tears. Tennis lovers, scandal chasers, and anyone fascinated by the wild intersection of sports and extreme luxury, get ready. This story is as extravagant as it is emotional. Welcome back to Cortiva Tennis, your ultimate source for the juiciest, most explosive stories from the tennis world and beyond. If you thought you'd seen it all, buckle up. This tale is so over the top it almost sounds fictional, yet every word is true. We're talking about Sir Richard Branson, the British billionaire who built an empire with Virgin Records, Virgin Atlantic, and even Virgin Galactic, the man whose life of ambition and adventure continues to astonish. Richard Branson, the daredevil billionaire who literally went to space for fun and survived multiple hot air balloon crashes, continues to treat life like one giant adventure. Worth an estimated $9 billion, Branson didn't just throw a birthday party for his 76th birthday. He orchestrated what might be the most expensive and emotionally devastating celebrity appearance in tennis history. At the center of this unbelievable story is Eala, the golden girl of Philippine tennis, newly crowned Southeast Asian Games champion, and apparently the only person capable of making a hardened billionaire weep in front of the world's elite. Branson reportedly spent $5 million to fly Eala in via private jets worth more than most people's houses, booked a suite at the Ritz London that redefines luxury, and witnessed a birthday speech so powerful it brought one of the world's toughest entrepreneurs to his knees. This isn't just a tennis story, it's a cultural moment, a collision of old money, new talent, and raw human emotion. The night a 20-year-old tennis player from Quezon City moved a 76-year-old billionaire to tears may well mark the start of something monumental for Asian tennis. And it all began with a number most of us can barely comprehend: $5 million. That's not a Grand Slam prize or an endorsement deal. That's what Branson reportedly spent just to have Eala as his personal guest of honor in the English countryside. $5 million for a birthday guest. To put that in perspective, that's more than most WTA players make in their entire careers, more than the winner of the French Open takes home, even enough to buy a mansion in Beverly Hills, and Branson spent it all in a single night for one guest. But don't mistake this for a reckless billionaire's whim. Richard Branson doesn't act without purpose. This was about recognition, admiration, and possibly the start of a partnership that could transform Eala's career. Sources close to the Virgin Empire reveal that Branson has quietly followed Eala's rise for years, but her performance at the 33rd Southeast Asian Games in Bangkok last month pushed him over the edge. Watching her shoulder the weight of a nation's expectations, battle through suffocating heat and pressure, and finally claim victory, ending a 26-year gold medal drought, struck a chord in Branson's adventurer's heart. Here is a man who built his empire on defying the odds, launching Virgin Records from a church basement, creating an airline when everyone said it would fail, and surviving crashes and setbacks only to come back stronger. Branson has burned, crashed, and risen from the ashes more times than anyone can count, and in Eala, he saw that same fire, a refusal to accept limitations. So when his birthday planners asked what he wanted for his 76th celebration, his answer was simple: get me the girl who won gold in Bangkok. She's the spirit of the future. And when Richard Branson wants something, money is no object. The extravagance began long before the party itself. Eala didn't just book a regular flight to London. A customized Gulfstream G650ER, one of the fastest and most luxurious private jets ever built, was chartered for her journey from Manila. This flying palace, capable of cruising at 51,000 feet with a range of over 7,000 nautical miles, costs around $70 million to purchase. On board, it was reportedly stocked with Eala's favorite Filipino comfort foods, custom Virgin-branded tennis equipment, and even a handwritten welcome letter from Sir Richard on Virgin Galactic stationery. Imagine being 20 years old, seated in a jet worth more than a small country's GDP, reading a personal note from a billionaire praising your fighting spirit. Moments like that can completely reshape how someone sees what's possible. And for Eala, the grueling flight from Manila to London was only the beginning of a night that would make history. Under normal circumstances, the journey from Manila to London would take 16 to 18 hours with at least one layover. But for Eala, time and inconvenience disappeared. Reclining in a butterssoft leather seat at 45,000 feet, sipping chamomile tea, and gazing through floor-to-ceiling windows, she traveled like a head of state, moving through the world invisible to the chaos most people endure. Upon landing at a private airfield in Luton, a convoy of blacked-out Range Rovers awaited, whisking her and her team directly into the heart of London. No customs lines, no baggage claim, pure frictionless luxury. And where does a billionaire house his most prized birthday guest? At the Ritz London, of course, but not just any room. Eala reportedly stayed in one of the hotel's most prestigious royal suites, likely the Prince of Wales suite, a sprawling 2,000-square-foot masterpiece of Louis XVI design overlooking Green Park, a space that has hosted royalty and Hollywood legends alike. Nightly rates range from £5,000 to £10,000, yet Branson reportedly booked it for an entire week. The suite boasts its own formal dining room seating 10, a master bedroom with a bed so soft it feels like sleeping on clouds, bathrooms clad in rare Italian marble, and service so discreet and flawless it rivals the luxury of the private jet that brought her there. But the VIP treatment didn't stop at accommodations. Alexandra Eala's package included a personal stylist to ensure she looked flawless for every appearance, a 24-hour concierge ready to fulfill any request, and exclusive access to some of London's most elite experiences, things money usually can't buy. Branson was making a statement. Eala wasn't just another athlete flown in for a photo op. She was being treated like visiting royalty, a head of state, someone whose presence elevated the entire event. Everyone in Branson's circle understood the significance of this calculated respect. Then came the main event, Branson's 76th birthday party at a private, heavily guarded estate in the English countryside. The theme was reportedly tropical Wimbledon, a fusion of Branson's love for his private Caribbean island and his lifelong obsession with tennis. The decorations were breathtaking, blending lush tropical plants with the crisp elegance of tennis whites and championship trophies. And the guest list? A veritable who's who of global elites, making it a night that would be remembered for years to come. The guest list read like a blueprint of global power. Silicon Valley tech billionaires, Hollywood A-listers whose names everyone knows, tennis legends who've shaped the sport for decades, British aristocracy, and business titans whose combined net worth could fund a small nation. This wasn't just a birthday party, it was a gathering of the people who actually run the world. And then Alexandra Eala walked in. The atmosphere, already electric with vintage Dom Perignon and a live band playing a mix of classic rock and modern hits, went completely still. Eala appeared in a stunning custom-designed evening gown that seamlessly fused traditional Filipiniana elements with cutting-edge haute couture, a sartorial statement honoring her heritage while exuding international sophistication. She didn't look nervous or out of place. She walked in as if she owned the room, as if she belonged among billionaires and legends. Her confidence was magnetic. Richard Branson, famous for his laid-back, egalitarian charm, actually stopped the music when he saw her. He paused the entire party, bypassed dignitaries and celebrities vying for his attention, and rushed across the room to greet her personally. Witnesses said they had never seen Branson so genuinely starstruck, but in that moment, everything about the party, the extravagance, the guest list, even the champagne faded into the background. The 76-year-old billionaire who has literally been to space looked at the 20-year-old tennis phenom from the Philippines with something close to awe. It was a surreal, beautiful reversal of expectations, and it set the tone for the night. The evening continued with incredible food, world-class entertainment, and networking opportunities most people would kill for, but the moment everyone is still talking about came during the cake-cutting ceremony. Breaking from every traditional protocol, Branson insisted that Alexandra Eala join him in cutting the massive tennis court-shaped birthday cake. As cameras flashed and a room full of billionaires and icons cheered, the symbolism was impossible to miss. The old guard of global business sharing the spotlight with the new energy of global sports, a passing of the torch, a recognition that the future belongs to fighters like Eala who refuse to accept the limitations the world places on them. Then came the speech. Eala was handed the microphone, and while everyone expected a polite thank you or a gracious acknowledgement of the honor, what followed was something entirely unexpected, a masterclass in vulnerability, inspiration, and emotional honesty that no one in that room was prepared for. Alexandra Eala's speech radiated emotional intelligence that completely transformed the energy of the event. According to multiple sources, she began by talking about dreaming big, but not from a place of triumph. She spoke of fear, the crushing weight of expectations during the Southeast Asian Games, and the pressure of carrying a nation's hopes to fulfill a 26-year gold medal drought. She spoke of the loneliness of life on the professional tennis tour, the endless travel, the injuries, and the doubts that creep in at 2 a.m. in some anonymous hotel room where nobody knows your name. She made herself entirely vulnerable in front of the world's most powerful people, creating a connection that transcended wealth, age, and status. Then she pivoted, turning her focus to Branson himself. She drew a parallel between his journey and hers, recounting how he started Virgin Records in a literal basement, faced repeated failures, survived multiple near-death hot air balloon experiences, yet pushed forward relentlessly. She told him that his life had taught her that barriers are merely illusions waiting to be shattered. And then she delivered the line that broke him. "Sir Richard, you taught the world that the sky is not the limit." You showed a young girl from the Philippines holding a racket and dreaming of gold that barriers are just illusions we haven't broken yet. You didn't just build companies, you built belief. The room fell completely silent. You could have heard a pin drop. And then Sir Richard Branson, the prankster, daredevil, and iron-willed entrepreneur who has stared down bankruptcy, crashes, and near-death experiences more times than most face adversity in a lifetime, was openly wiping tears from his eyes. This wasn't a single tear. It was genuine, uncontrolled emotion from a man who almost never shows vulnerability in public. He walked onto the stage and embraced Eala in a long, heartfelt hug that felt more like a father hugging a daughter than a billionaire greeting a guest. Then he took the microphone, his voice shaking. "I have spent millions on parties. I have traveled to space. I have done things most people only dream about." But hearing this young champion understand the heart of what we do, understanding that it's about belief and breaking barriers, that is the best moment of my life. "I have spent millions on parties. I have traveled to space. I have done things most people only dream about." But hearing this young champion understand the heart of what we do, that is the best birthday gift I have ever received in my entire life. People in the room were crying. Hardened business executives wiped their eyes, and tennis legends nodded in recognition, reminded why they fell in love with their crafts in the first place. Eala had reminded everyone that beneath the money, fame, and success lies a human story of struggle and perseverance that connects us all, and she did it with a grace, humility, and authenticity that can't be faked. More importantly, insiders believe Branson sees something specific in Eala that resonates with his life philosophy. She represents a market he's passionate about: Asia, where Virgin has made massive investments and sees enormous future growth potential. But beyond business strategy, she embodies a spirit he identifies with completely. The underdog who bites back, the fighter who refuses to accept no for an answer. Her gold medal victory at the SEA Games wasn't just a win. It was a statement of mental toughness, recovering from deficits, battling brutal humidity, carrying the hopes of millions, and delivering when it mattered most. That exact combination of grit, courage, and perseverance is what Branson admires most. That grit and perseverance is the very Virgin spirit Branson has built his empire on. That's why he chose Alexandra Eala, and why he reportedly spent $5 million to have her at his birthday party. In Eala, Branson sees himself a fighter, an underdog, a relentless spirit. But the story doesn't end with the cake. Industry insiders are now speculating that this extravagant invitation may be just the opening move in something far bigger. Whispers of potential sponsorship deals that could dwarf anything outside the absolute top tier of women's tennis are already circulating. Could Eala become the new face of Virgin Active across Southeast Asia? Might Branson personally sponsor her tour, eliminating financial pressures so she can focus solely on training and Grand Slam preparation? Spending $5 million on a birthday guest isn't about a single night. It's about laying the foundation for a partnership potentially worth tens of millions over the next decade. And the rumors get even wilder. Multiple sources claim Branson offered Eala the chance to hold her pre-season training camp on Necker Island later this year, completely free of charge, with access to world-class coaches, physiotherapists, nutritionists, and training partners most players can only dream of. Imagine training on a private Caribbean island, surrounded by turquoise waters and perfect weather, with zero distractions and unlimited resources. If this happens, and Branson becomes a fixture in her camp, it could fundamentally transform her career, giving her unprecedented visibility, backing, and the kind of opportunity most athletes can only fantasize about. The reaction on social media has been nothing short of explosive. In the Philippines, Alex Eala and Richard Branson are trending at the top of every platform, with Filipinos collectively celebrating the recognition, respect, and sheer magnitude of what this moment represents for their country's tennis legacy. One viral tweet perfectly captured the sentiment. Alex Eala winning gold was history. Alex Eala making Richard Branson cry is legendary. And that really sums it up. This transcends sports. It's a cultural moment proving that Asian athletes, and specifically Filipino athletes, belong at the same tables and receive the same respect as anyone else in the world. The international tennis community is equally captivated, asking strategic questions. How will Eala's potential training at Necker Island affect her clay court preparation? Will Branson be in her player box at Wimbledon this summer? A $9 billion entrepreneur throwing his full support behind a player changes everything. Access to the best coaching, resources, and networks. Connections to other potential sponsors, and the security to take risks and play freely without the financial pressures that crush so many talented players before they break through. Currently ranked in the low 100s on the WTA Tour, Eala has the talent and proven ability, but the jump from top 100 to top 10 is brutal. It requires not just skill but world-class coaching, a full traveling team, strategic tournament entries, wildcards, and the relationships with tournament directors, all of which demand resources that Branson's support could provide in spades. Success at the top level of tennis requires more than talent, it demands connections and credibility that usually take years to develop. But with someone like Richard Branson in your corner, doors don't just open, they get blown off their hinges. Suddenly, Eala isn't just another prospect. She's Richard Branson's player, the girl who made a billionaire cry, someone tournament directors want at their events because she brings attention, storylines, and eyeballs. And here's the twist few are talking about. Branson understands media and branding better than almost anyone alive. He built Virgin into a global empire not just through smart business decisions, but through brilliant marketing and his personal charisma. If he's genuinely invested in Eala's career, you can bet he's thinking 3 moves ahead. Imagine a documentary series chronicling Eala's journey to the top 10, produced by Virgin Media. Picture viral marketing campaigns tying her underdog story to Virgin's identity of adventure, courage, breaking barriers, and refusing to accept limitations. Eala could become more than a tennis player, she could be a global brand ambassador for everything Virgin represents. The potential is staggering, and knowing how Branson operates, this is exactly the kind of long-term, high-impact partnership he loves to cultivate.
And talking about LA, we need kindness in this world.
Oh my God.
And talking about
Sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. At sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa